Moo.
Canadian Cow Gaming.
Hey, thanks for tuning in. This is going to be a video on the healer tier list for coming raid in Season 1 Dragonflight. So first of all, we're going to be starting off with Shaman. Now, Shaman has SLT, which makes it good, regardless of how good its healing or damage output is, or its utility. Unfortunately, Shaman, this, so far at least, is kind of in the bottom when it comes to its healing output. But SLT is just such a good cooldown that it will be brought, it will be used. There's no way around it. I think Shaman will likely be a good B tier. Next is the newest class, Evoker, Preservation Evoker. Now, Preservation Evoker is really good in Mythic Plus, but when it comes to raid, it's very, very low. The current build that I've seen people do that does decent healing is very one note. It's very passive. It doesn't have a great deal of targeted healing, but it does have a decent amount of group AoE. Unless there's some build out there that no one has tested yet or is keeping quiet on the logs, I really don't see Evoker being a high-end healer. You can definitely, push cutting edge and by the end of the tier, but it's not going to be like a race to world first kind of thing until people kind of more figured out the spec. So I think it's actually probably going to be a D for the Evoker. Discipline Priest, insanely good healing right now, insanely good damage, brings absorb shields, good utility, has the ability to kind of spec into a couple different branches of healing from what I've seen, whether it be burst or sustained. And with the way tuning is currently, Discipline Priest is by far the best healer. You're not going to want to bring more than one, but overall, like, it is going to be the healer that everyone is going to want to have in their raid. Resto Druid's also like Evoker in kind of a weird spot in that a Resto Druid was really good in Mythic Plus. It does good healing numbers in small group. It also does really good damage. Downside of Resto Druid is just on logs right now from what I've seen. It just does not hold a candle to any other spec out there other than Evoker. You could pull up a random Resto Druid log and you would see that Resto Druid is bottom of the healers, has the least amount of healing, least amount of overheal. Now, it could be the players, but it just looks as though Resto Druid is just getting beat out by the other healers by a lot. Now, if you want a lot of damage out of a healer, sure, but that's a very niche situation. I think Resto Druid, unless there's more tuning to come, is a solid C, but I don't think Resto Druid will get changed at all, and that is going to get buffed just because it's so good right now in Mythic Plus. Next, we're going to go over the Holy Priest. A Holy Priest, similar to last season, lots of damage, lots of healing. Really hard to mess Holy Priest up. It's the easiest healer to play as, and it does a lot of healing and a lot of damage. Really nothing else to say. Easy A tier. On a lot of logs, you'll see these two specs basically even on damage and healing. Holy Paladin is kind of middle of the road. It doesn't really bring anything other than a lot of like a decent single utility with like back and bop, and it also has a battle res now, but overall it's just like its healing and damage isn't that great. It's not, unless like once again, unless it's like another Venthyr situation, I don't see Holy Paladin being a top tier healer. It will do well, but I don't think it's gonna be top tier, so I'm gonna throw it in there mostly because it has good utility. It's average on healing, but it's not going to be best of the best. And I've also seen a lot of really good Mistweavers in the game too. Mistweaver in raid just seems to do a lot of more healing than other classes, which is strange because like in Mythic Plus it struggles, but in raid it just seems to do really well, partly because Essence Font is just a really strong heal right now. Or it also can spec into some Windwalker talents and do a decent amount of damage. Once again, not a great amount of damage compared to like a Resto Druid, but because its healing is so good, I'm actually going to throw it in A. So this is my prediction for healers in Dragonflight. All right. Thanks for watching. Bye.